All right, welcome to the very low-tech, highly efficient mini lesson of what we learned this week in math class. And this week we talked a lot about ordering and comparing numbers. Now, ordering and comparing numbers means seeing which one is bigger, which one is smaller, which one is greatest, which one is the least. And then ordering means just putting them in order from either least to greatest or from greatest to least. So we have some symbols that we're going to be working with this week, and this is the greater than sign. And when we read, just like in a book, we read the equation from left to right. So we would say this number is greater than this number. And this symbol is called the less than symbol. We would say that this number is less than the number on the right. And if the numbers are exactly the same, they are equal to. So to start off just at the lowest form, these are really easy to tell. Okay, we have a 4 and we have a 9. We know that 9 is greater than 4, but because the 4 is over here, we would use the less than sign. And when we read that equation, it would be 4 is less than 9. Okay, again, this one is really easy to tell just because it is a smaller number. And since the smaller number is over here, the one with the least, the lesser value, we would use the less than sign, and it would read 24 is less than 74. Now, if these two numbers flopped and the 74 was over here and the 24 was over here, you'd use the greater than sign and it would read 74 is greater than 24. But since we read from left to right, you have to use the symbol in the correct way. Okay, so let's talk about ordering numbers. Whenever we are comparing or ordering numbers, I want you to use our place value chart. And again, we're going to start small and work our way up. So we have 4 numbers. And when they're small numbers, we're tempted to just jump right in and be able to order them because it's easy for us to tell. But when we start getting into the thousands, the 10,000s, the 100,000s, it gets a lot more challenging. And so that's why I want you to get in the habit of always using the place value chart. So whenever we're ordering numbers, no matter what order they are up top, just start plugging them in the number chart. Okay, so, and then we will start comparing in the furthest column on the left. So we have a 3, a 2, a 6, and a 2. And if we were ordering them from least to greatest, we know that 2 is less than 3 and is less than 6. So we know that these two numbers would be the numbers that we start with. Automatically, we can tell that 6 is the greatest number because it has the value of 60. So we can put a number 4 over here because we know that that number will be last on our order line. Okay, so if we have 2 of the same number in the tens column, then we go ahead and move over to the ones. We know that 4 is less than 6, so that's our first number when we order them. This automatically becomes our second because remember, it was the other one that with a 2 in the tens column. 3 is less than 6, so that is number 3. And then we can plug all the numbers in once we have those numbered. So 24, 26, 35, 62. Okay, let's go up one place value. We have 424, 442, 468, and 46. I want you to go ahead and push pause on this video, and you're going to draw a place value chart and go ahead and plug in all your numbers on the place value chart. Once you have that done, go ahead and hit play again. Now, notice how I was writing these numbers in from right to left, and that seems completely backwards from everything we always tell you to do. But when we're trying to plug numbers into the place value chart, the reason of this number is exactly why we do it. If I was writing from left to right, and I had all these numbers that had values in the hundreds, and then I get to this number, my first reaction would be to go into that hundreds column. And so I'd have a 4 and a 6, and then I'd have a blank spot. So soon I'd be tempted to write a 0 in here, but that's not the case. This number is 46 and not 460. So that's why we want to write the numbers from right to left only when we're putting them in the place value chart. Okay? So now we are ready to order them. I want you to go ahead and push pause again on the video, and I want you to practice ordering them. So you're going to start with the hundreds column, and we are going to order them from least to greatest. Okay? Come back when you have them ordered over here. Okay, so as I'm comparing in my hundreds column, I say that I have all 4s and then I have nothing, which is equivalent to 0. So if I'm going from least to greatest, that's going to be my very first number because it doesn't even have a value in the hundreds column. Okay, now I need to see what has the second, third, and fourth order. So all these have 100 or 4 in the hundreds column. So my next step is to move to the tens column. I have a 2, a 4, and a 6. I know that 2 is less than 4 and 2 is less than 6. So my top number is the second number in order. Let me just double check this. 4 is less than 6. Okay. My third spot and my fourth spot. Now I'm ready to plug in my numbers in order. Okay, here we are going into the thousands for place value. And just for simplicity and practice, we're just going to go from least to greatest since we're doing this pretty quick. All right, same routine. I want you to go ahead and draw your place value chart, get these numbers jotted down, and then you're going to push pause and plug all of these numbers into your place value chart. Come back when you're done. All right. Go ahead and just double check that you have all your numbers correct, and then you can go ahead and start comparing. Again, we're going to start in the furthest left column in our thousands place value column. We have 2, 2, a 1, and a 2. Well, we're going from least to greatest. We know that 1 is less than 2, so that's our number 1 spot. And since the rest of these are 2 in the thousands column, I move over to the hundreds. I'm just going to draw a little bit of a faint line through this number so it's a little bit easier to tell it apart. I have a 4, a 6, and a 6. Well, I know that 4 is less than 6. This is my number 2 number. Okay, I have a 6 and a 6. So my next step is to go to the next place value, which is in the tens. I know that 4 is less than 7. So this is going to be my third position. And that leaves me with the last one. Now that I have everything in place, I can go ahead and put them all in order. from least to greatest. I will send home a packet that I had set aside for you for this week in math, and I want you just to keep practicing comparing numbers, ordering them. Another game that you can play at home is you can have your sibling give you a number, and you have to come up with a number either greater than or less than. And then once you get the hang of that, you can start adding other parameters. So for example, what is a number that is less than 32,000? Well, that can be somewhat simple. We would just go one less than 32,000, which is 31,999, and we could go all the way down to 1 or 0 for that matter. Okay, get used to doing that, and then you can add in other requirements, such as, okay, give me a number that's less than 32,000 but greater than 31,990. It has less numbers to choose from, and really helps you focus on what value those numbers have when they are such bigger numbers. Have fun.